A wonderful morning to you all and a warm welcome to our English class. Sincere prayers for your good health during this pandemic COVID-19. Don't go unnecessarily outside and get into trouble. Be safe with your parents. Eat healthy food and drink plenty of water and stay at home. Now in today's class, we are going to follow this. First, we'll have the introduction about the poet. Secondly, we'll learn the gist of the poem. And thirdly, a brief explanation of the poem. Fourthly, the conclusion. And the fifth one is the type of questions that you come across in your public exam for which you have to prepare. And lastly, an exercise to do at home and send us. In the third unit of standard 12th English, we have the poem All the World's a Stage. Written by the great poet and dramatist William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born at Stratford upon Avon, England. William Shakespeare, who lived between 1564 and 1616, is an English poet, playwright, and actor. He began his successful career in London as an actor, writer, and a part of a playing company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men, later known as King's Men. Shakespeare is widely recognized as the greatest English poet the world has ever known. Not only were his 37 plays mainly written in verse, but he also penned 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and a few other minor poems. Today, he has become a symbol of poetry and writing internationally. William Shakespeare continues to be one of the most important literary figures of the English language. So that is in short about the poet. Now the classification of Shakespeare's 37 plays, how the plays have been classified. Historical, tragedies, comedies, and romances. To understand better, I have once again given with rows and columns. We have a beautiful look at the Shakespeare's 37 plays he has written. The next one is Shakespeare's 154 sonnets. The sonnets have been divided into 3 segments. The first one is the Fair Youth Sonnet. The first group of sonnets is addressed to a young man with whom the poet has a deep friendship. So in these 1 to 126 sonnets, the poet is addressing to a young man who has a very deep friendship. The second type of or the division of sonnets is the Dark Lady, which are from 127 to 152. In the second sequence, the poet becomes infatuated with a mysterious woman. Her relationship with the young man is unclear. So in this second group of sonnets, which are from 127 to 152, the poet has become infatuated, means very much in love with a mysterious woman, are attracted towards a mysterious woman, and the relationship of the woman with the poet, though unclear, still he continues. The third type of a group of sonnets is called the Greek sonnets, which are from 153 to 154. The final two sonnets are very different and draw upon the Roman myth of Cupid, to whom the poet has already compared his muses. So the final two sonnets, which are from 153 to 154, are written in favor of the goddesses. Besides the plays and the sonnets, Shakespeare has written two long poems. Shakespeare published two long poems among his earliest successes, Venus and Adonis in 1593 and the rape of Lucrece in 1594. These poems were dedicated to his patron, the Earl of Southampton. Now let's learn the poem in gist. This poem is based on a speech given by a character, Jacques, who is a cynic in the well-known play As You Like It. Jack's speech about the 7 stages of a man's life is a famous one. The world is compared to a drama stage, and men and women are the actors and actresses who have to play the roles in the drama. For Jacques, there is nothing noble or praiseworthy in a man's life. He makes fun of the 7 stages of man and calls birth as entry and death as exit. Human life is not a permanent one. Cynic means pessimist, or one who mocks or criticizes, or one who has negative thoughts. Shakespeare considers the whole world a stage where men and women are only actors and actresses. They enter the stage when they are born, and they exit the stage when they die. He has divided life into 7 stages, each having its own varied qualities and features. The first stage is infancy, child. The second stage is boyhood. The third stage is lover. The fourth stage is a soldier. The fifth stage is a judge. The sixth stage is the old age, and the 7th stage is the second childhood. So these are the 7 stages of a man from birth to death. Now before we enter into the poem, we understood in short what is the title given, All the World's a Stage means. Let me read the poetic lines and explain those lines one by one for your easy understanding. Shall we listen and watch? All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. All the world's a stage. So the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Some may become policemen or policewomen, some may live an ordinary life with no job, and some may work as doctors, teachers, judges, advocates, technicians, engineers, and so on. They have their exits and their entrances. Exits means moving off, that is dying. Entrances means being born. As people enter into a stage and then they exit, the same way people are born and they die. And one man in his time plays many parts. So every person in his lifetime plays many parts. These parts are called 7 ages. His acts being 7 ages. These ages are actually like the acts of a play. That is infancy, childhood, a boyhood, lover, soldier, judge, old man, and a second childhood. So these are the 7 stages of a man. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. At first, the infant means a child or baby. The first stage of a man's life is his infancy. He is or she is wholly dependent on his or her mother or nurse. Mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Mewling means a small weak noise, something like a cat makes, or crying. Puking means vomiting during his infancy. The child cries and throws up milk and vomits when he is in the hands of a mother or a nurse. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face. Whining means expressing unhappiness. Satchel means a shoulder bag. So the second stage is his boyhood. This is his school going period. It is the time when he complains all the time. His face shines like a bright and fresh morning. Creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And this child walks slowly. Creeping means walking slowly. He carries his school bag and slowly moves to school at the speed of a snail, because he is not interested to go to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And then the lover, sighing like furnace. Sighing means letting out a deep, long breath. The third stage of a man's life is a grown-up person. It is the time when he loves his beloved enthusiastically. He sighs like a furnace. Furnace, a burning firelight. With a woeful ballad made to his mistress eyebrow. Woeful, unhappy, ballad, a song, mistress, partner. So with an unhappy song, he makes his partner's eyebrow have a look at. He sings songs for his beloved and yearns for her attention. He composes songs in praise of his lover's eye or brow. He sings songs again and again as he burns with emotion. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubbled reputation even in the cannon's mouth. So in the next stanza, we find, then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard. Oaths means promises. Pard means a large cat like the leopard. So then a soldier full of strange promises and bearded like a leopard. He is fierce and ambitious when he faces enemies. Jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. Jealous means angry. So he is physically fit and he is aggressive. The soldier, he is short-tempered, ambitious in nature, and jumps into arguments, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Bubble means empty, reputation means fame, cannon means large guns. He seeks fame, though it is temporary and short-lived. He dangers his life for it, even in front of a large gun. But it is nothing more than a bubble which disappears suddenly, and that is not noticed by the soldier because of his young age. Next stanza, and then the justice in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise sauce and modern instances, and so he plays his part. And then the justice. So the next stage is the justice, which means a judge. Capon means a domestic cook. The fifth role is a middle-aged man when grows older. He becomes a judge. He has a fat, round belly because of feasting on chicken. He becomes a matured and wise judge. And then the judge, a round belly with good capon lined, means being a judge or becoming a judge, feasting nicely with chicken, has a rounded belly, and of course with maturity he becomes a wise judge. With eyes severe and beard of formal cut, his look is authoritative. Eyes severe means somewhat reddish like. He shows his authority there. when he takes decisions on a case, and he has a beard of formal cut and plays his part as a wise man in life. So being the judge with too much of authority, he dominates the court and more or less he rules in the court. Full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. Saws means sayings. He cites modern instances. He brings out modern instances with a lot of proverbs from the past and wise things about the future. So whenever he comes across with the criminals, or as it is in the court, he brings out a lot of past and wise things that he had come across in his life with the experiences of the past people who have been affected, and thus he plays his part very cleverly. The sixth age shifts to the lean and slippered pantaloon with his spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful horse, well saved, a world too wide, for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice. Turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon. Pantaloon means long trousers with wide legs spread wide. So in the sixth stage, man becomes thin and weak. He wears long trousers with slippers, with spectacles on nose, on pouch on side. Pouch means a small bag for carrying money. With spectacles, he wears specs on his nose due to his poor sight. He has a purse by his side in which he keeps money and tobacco. His youthful horse, well saved, a world too wide. Horse means tights. His pants become very tight. Thin trousers that men wore during Shakespeare's time is called as horse. Too wide means too big. So his youthful tight pants. Well saved, which means well preserved, or whatever pants he has preserved in the past. So shrunk shank and his big manly voice. Shrinking means becoming too small. Shank means narrow legs. He becomes thin, weak and lean. He uses long socks which he has saved during his youth. These 6 socks are very loose to his thin leg and look strange. The big loud manly voice has turned into the shrill voice of a child. Turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Treble means high-pitched voice. Pipes means a high sound. Whenever he tries to speak, it seems as if he were playing upon a pipe or as if he were whistling. So in this stage, in the 6th stage, the man having become thin and weak, when he speaks, It seems to be as if he were playing a pipe or whistling. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is the second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history. In the last stage, the condition of the man becomes very miserable, which completes the drama of his life. He is the second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Second childishness means being like a child again. Oblivion, forgetfulness. Sans means without. Now he has grown very old and weak. He has lost all. He is without teeth, vision, taste and everything. This is a strange stage of his life. This stage is called the second childishness because he becomes a childlike and his acts are like a child. So thus the poet says that a life of a man begins and ends in this manner in this world. Now in conclusion, what is given in this poem? Now in this poem, Shakespeare skillfully brings out the parallel between the life of man and actors on the stage. The poet wants us to realize that human life is like the stage of a theatre. Men and women, like actors, come, play the roles, and quit. Each stage of life has its own peculiarities. Nothing good and charming remains for long. The same man who looks charming and dashing looks weak, thin, and funny in his old age. We should accept our fate humbly. We should be ready to play our role in the stage of life to quit forever. And the best lesson is nothing in this world is permanent. Now, what are the questions that you come across from these poems for your public exam? One of the questions is appreciation to the poem. This is a 2-mark question where you'll be given a few poetic lines followed by questions. And like this, you'll be given 6. And you have to answer 4 out of the 6, and each question carries 2 marks. As given here, the poetic lines which are in blue color, they are the poetic lines followed by question number 1 and question number 2 with the answers. So that's how you have to answer these poetic lines, which means you must be thorough with the poem. The second type of question you're going to have is ERC, means explain with reference to the context. A poetic line will be given and you have to find out who wrote those lines and from which poem those lines have been taken. So 3 will be given and you have to answer 2 for 3 marks. You have to mention the name of the poem from which these lines have been taken and the name of the poet who wrote this poem, followed by an explanation for which you get 3 marks. So this is the method you have to follow to get 3 marks for your reference to context. Another type of question you'll come across is a paragraph. which is for 5 marks, and you have to answer in about 100 to 150 words. The paragraph questions are like this. First one is, or your exercise for the homework like is this. Question number 1. Describe the various stages of a man's life picturized in the poem All the World's a Stage. Question number 2. Shakespeare has skillfully brought out the parallels between the life of man and actors on stage. Elaborate the statement with reference to the poem. So these are the 2 questions for which you have to answer. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless you. Meet you in the next class.